This is the layout of a proof, congruent opposite angles proof, and we're going to use SAS, side angle side. Now, if you're just coming into this video and you don't understand it after you watch it, I advise you to watch 101 and 102. You should probably watch them now anyway before you even watch this one, because this one is leading into it, okay? I mean, these are leading into this one. So, let's take a step back and look at what we've got. We've got our drawing. We've got our proof table with our statements on the left and our reasons on the right. We've got our given, our evidence, and we've got the thing we're trying to prove, okay? Let's take a look at our drawing. All right, well, we've got this triangle, and I've purposely made this bottom line green so it stands out. It looks like we've got an angle here, and I'll explain to you why there's two lines there in a second. And this is triangle ABC. These two lines have slashes in them, which means they're congruent, right? So, what is it that we're trying to prove? We're trying to prove that angle B is congruent to angle C. That this angle and this angle are congruent, okay? So here's the given. In triangle ABC, the segment AB is congruent to the segment BC. The red one is congruent to the green one, okay? AB is congruent to BC. The red one is congruent to the green one. Now, guess what? Before we start, we have to draw an angle bisector in angle A. Go figure. Sometimes, when you're doing a proof and you have a drawing, they'll give you this drawing of a triangle, and you'll have to prove something, and you have to be smart enough to know that what it's missing is an angle bisector. Now it makes sense that I've got this here, okay? By drawing that angle bisector, it's going to make it very easy to prove that these two angles are the same because of SAS. See? Okay, so let's look at our first statement here. It's given that AB is congruent to BC. AB is congruent to BC. Okay, we've got that, and it's given. So now we're going to say that AX, this one, bisects angle A. Okay, it did. We just did that. The reason is an angle has only one bisector, because remember, an angle bisector goes straight through. If you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, go back to see video number 74, and it'll help you understand more about angle bisectors, okay? Now we've got AX is congruent to AX. AX is congruent to AX. What? This line is congruent to itself? That's why you need to see the previous videos. The reasoning behind it is called the reflexive property of congruence. It's also referred to as the identity property, and I discuss it in video number 102. So, it says that when you share a line, when two triangles share a line, that you can use that. That's basically what it says. If you're still confused, go back and watch that. Now, in number 4, we put that triangle CAX, this triangle on the left, is congruent to triangle, whoops, I'm missing an X there. It's congruent to this triangle, BAX, okay? Our reasoning is the side angle side, okay? And if you're still confused, that's why I said you need to see 101 and 102, but this is what it means, okay? It means you've got triangle 1 and triangle 2, okay? 1 and 2. Side AC, this one, is congruent to AB, this one. And that angle C, this one, is congruent to angle B, this one. And angle C and line segment CX, this little guy, is congruent to XB, this little guy. That's what sun angle side says, okay? So that's our reasoning for saying that this triangle is congruent to this triangle. And I really should write that X in there so that you guys aren't confused, okay? Okay, so now we can say that angle B is congruent to angle C because of a thing called corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. If you don't know what corresponding parts are, you need to go back to video number 100. We covered corresponding parts, okay? If you've proven that two triangles are congruent, then the corresponding parts of those triangles are congruent. Now I'm going to go into more detail about CPCTC in video number 108 in the future, coming up. So you might want to watch that one too. But this is how you do the layout of a proof for congruent opposite angles. And this video built up from the two previous ones, even back to number 100 for corresponding parts. When you're baking a cake, you can't ice the cake before you actually bake the cake part. So if you're walking in on this and trying to grasp this before watching these, you might get lost. If you have a semblance of an idea of what I'm talking about, then you might be okay and you might understand. But it just depends on how good of a grade you want to get. Do you want to completely understand it or sort of understand it? The next thing we're going to discuss is the side angle side, ASA, to prove triangles are congruent. See you next video.